Welcome into the Extra Point presented by Corner Pub in Brentwood on 710 Old Ricker Boulevard for Nashville's best meat and threes, craft beers, and more. The neighborhood meets at the corner. And Zach, Derek Mason's done a pretty solid job at Vanderbilt in 3 years, and this summer he's been really hot on the recruiting trail. Vandy's got a top 30 class, and as of late June, there's a lot of time left, 5th best at recruiting class in the SEC, which sounds crazy. But in your mind, what's the next step for Vanderbilt football under Derek Mason?
Well, I think what Derek Mason has been able to do is pretty impressive. He's made that climb from 3 wins his first season to 4 wins his next season to last year, finally making a bowl. They lost the Independence Bowl, but it doesn't matter. They got to that next step, and I think the next step after that is making a bowl and winning that bowl game. They need to do better than 6 wins. Maybe a 7-win season or an 8-win season. Maybe an appearance at the Belk Bowl, a Music City Bowl, and winning that bowl game. That is the next step, and I think they have the players to do it. They got the returner of Kyle Shermer, their quarterback. Ralph Webb comes back. They got Kalijah Lipscomb. Defensively, they've been solid over those past years. They've got to put it all together. But I'm going to say a bowl victory in a little bit better of a bowl than the Independence.
So one of the first from last season was the first road SEC win, and that was the Georgia game, which was a great finish to an SEC football game. For me, the next step for Vanderbilt is to win the SEC games that you're supposed to win. And I'm talking about 3 schools. I'm talking about the games against South Carolina, Kentucky, and Missouri. Because last year, Vandy went 6-6, right? They went 3-5 in the SEC. But they went 0-3 against those 3 opponents. If you're going to climb in the SEC East, you got to beat the teams that are below you. And so if Vandy can win those games, now the game against Tennessee and Ole Miss where you win those and against Georgia, that's just gravy. Now you're working your way towards a 7 and 8, hey, maybe even a 9-win season for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think the other thing is they've got to consistently continue to beat Tennessee, because that irks Butch Jones and the entire Vol fan base,
the state,
like no other.
Right.
So if they continue, they've won 3 out of the past 5 years. If they can continue to have their number, that's another good trend for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
And that's today's Extra Point presented by Corner Pub in Brentwood on A to Z Sports Nashville.com.